have to deal with our fear, or we stay the same. Good morning, hello, and welcome back to another episode of the Who Are You to Lead Anyway podcast. This is episode 112, and I am your host, Cynthia Jamieson, life and leadership coach, and today I want to continue the journey that we began last week, one of exploration and of celebration. Now, for those of you who know, I have been moving through an exciting phase of my life. My husband and I have put up our home for sale. We are going to be making another transition from living in Ontario to living in the East Coast, which is where both of us are from. And at the same time, I mentioned last week's episode, I've also been setting some powerful intentions for myself, for my business, for just directionally where we are going. And what that means is I've also been facing my deepest fears. And that's what happens when you make a decision to consciously choose and step up to living more fully into the purpose that you have, or being purposeful and intentional with your life and the work that you do in the world. So, as many of you may know, when we declare a bold intention to the world, the very next thing that happens is it brings up everything we've been afraid to face. So, I want to back up just briefly because today's episode is inspired by the Three of Cups. For those of you who may not know, the Three of Cups is a tarot card, and I have tarot cards. I have multiple types of cards, and this morning I pulled this particular one, and the Three of Cups symbolizes celebration and connection and community. And this card feels so fitting, just as everything that is culminating in our lives for my husband and I at this moment, within this journey that I am on, that we are on, and how it hasn't been one of isolation at all, but it has been one of deeply meaningful relationships and shared growth, collective growth, individual growth, couple growth. So this episode is about celebrating the path forward. It's about embracing fear as a guide and understanding how leading with intention puts so many ripples out in the world. So if you're okay with it, let's begin. So as I mentioned, I set my intentions for this next chapter of my life. And I did that this last week, and something beautiful and unexpected has emerged as a result of it. Because I have come to see fear as an invitation. So instead of pushing it away or seeing it as something to conquer, I've chosen to lean into it instead. Fear has become a messenger of sorts. My intuition speaking to me, telling me that there's something deeper here. There's something deeper to explore here, and how beautifully rich of an invitation that is for me. Now, I also will say that it's not always easy to do that, but it is so rewarding when you do, and it's such an essential part of being a human. So just last week, I declared my intention to illuminate the path for others, to guide them to connect with their deepest truth and their highest calling. And all of those fears that I had at the time, that I still continue to have, came rushing in. Fear of failure, fear of judgment, fear of not being enough, of running out of time, of not being deserving, of having regrets if I didn't do it. Let me tell you, all of this felt insurmountable to me. It was emotional, and as I sat with all of it and just allowed all of it to be there, I realized something. I realized that it wasn't a fear of failure, but of success. What would it mean, and what would it require of me to step fully into this space? And in that moment, I understood that my fear wasn't something to be avoided. Fear is not my enemy. Fear is just a signal asking to be witnessed, heard, and understood. And so then I began to ask my fear, what are you trying to tell me here? What need are you trying to meet? And by intentionally seeking out my fears, I have been able to see them for what they are, which is opportunities to align even more deeply with my purpose. And isn't that what leadership is all about? Because as leaders, we're constantly faced with fear. When we step into bold new territory, we can either choose to shrink back or stay the same. Or we can face it head on, knowing that the discomfort is a necessary part of the growth, right? Like I'm thinking about caterpillars and butterflies and there's just so many beautiful things in life that when we look at it, like the birth of a child, like all of these beautiful things, like there is discomfort and it is necessary. And so how can we do our best to embrace that? So I want to talk about the power of intention and community for a moment. Because when we set bold intentions, it can feel really isolating at first. But what the Three of Cups reminds us is that we're never truly alone in our journey. Community and taking intentional time for celebration are so essential to both our personal and our professional growth. I work with so many leaders and I just know this from it being my own experience, but I also witness it in them, that we're so busy just being busy, achieving the things that we don't ever take time to celebrate, which is why I created the very first episode of this podcast as celebration. Because as leaders, if we don't celebrate our where we are in this moment, it creates so much cognitive dissonance for us later on. I digress. But I just want to say that I feel that I have been so, the word that's coming to me is blessed. Blessed by the deep connections that I've made, both with those I love and those I serve. And setting my intention to guide others to their highest truth, that's brought me incredible people to work with in my life. And through our shared experience, I've come to realize the power of the collective transformation. Because when I make a transformation within me, that allows a transformation within someone else, and that allows another one, another ripple, and another ripple, and another ripple. And there's something so magical about witnessing someone else's journey, about celebrating their wins and being there for their struggles. It's in those moments of connections that we grow the most, and we inspire one another to keep going, even if it's hard. And so I have learned that leadership isn't just about standing alone at the top, which we often think about when we think about leadership. It's not that at all. It's about cultivating a space for connection and creating environments where others can thrive. Because when we lead with intention, we empower others to step into their own life and their own light. And so what does this mean for you? What bold intention have you been holding back from setting? And what fear comes up when you think about stepping fully into that space, into that version of you? I want to invite you to take a moment and just sit with that and see what your fear might be trying to tell you. And the thing that's I'm being reminded of is, like, if your dreams don't scare you, they're not big enough. It has to scare you and excite you to be able to delight you. Because, and I've mentioned this before, unless it's propelling you or it's more inspiring to you than what you currently have, it won't create the change that you want to have. And so as you set your own bold intentions, don't forget to invite others onto your journey. Celebrate the wins with them and lean on them during the challenges as you go through them, because true growth happens when we support each other. No one is doing this alone. We don't know who's the teacher, who is the student. We are all here and we are going through our growth journeys at the same time. And this is where having a guide can make all of the difference. I have a guide that's guiding me through this particular intention setting process, and that's where I've been given and granted the space for me to be able to work through all of my fears, and then I'm able to take that work and bring it into my work with my clients. It's just such a beautiful, magical circle of giving and receiving. And when you set bold intentions, having someone to support you through your fears and your uncertainties is invaluable, just as it is for me. And a skilled guide can offer perspective, encouragement, insights that help you navigate the complexities of your own unique journey. So, just a quick caveat, if you are ready to embrace your bold intention and you want a guide by your side, just reach out and let's get started on that path together. Now let's talk about living and leading with grace. One of the most profound lessons I've learned through this process is the importance of living and leading with grace. And my intention has become more than just a goal. It truly has. And sometimes I'm sitting here I'm sitting here in this moment and I'm in awe of not only where my life is, what I'm experiencing in my life, but I'm in awe of the different transformations, the different identities, the different versions of myself that I have experienced. And I was having a conversation with my husband the other day, and I'm like, there are versions of me that you just would never have understood. And that's just so fascinating for me to think about. And it also just speaks volumes to the amount of personal growth work that has been done, that I have walked with. And so, again, my intention is more than a goal. It's a way of being. It's a way I will continue to be. I will continue to evolve. But I have committed to living in alignment with my soul's purpose, to embrace all of the paradoxes that life has to offer, and to fully experience each moment, whether it's filled with joy, fear, uncertainty, love, excitement, gratitude. It doesn't matter, all of it. And I'm not here to question life's paradoxes at all. I am here to experience them. Now, what does this mean? This means that surrender has become a key practice. It's becoming more and more of a key practice for me. Really, really, truly letting go of control, surrendering. Because rather than trying to control the outcome, I'm learning, I'm still learning, I'm always a student of trusting the process. And to accept what comes my way, knowing that everything is unfolding as it should. Now, let me be clear. This does not mean that I'm being passive. What it does mean is it means moving forward with intention while being open to all of the beautiful unknowns that I know that are there around the curtain, right? And there will be some surprises, and there will be some delights, and there will be some challenges, and there will be some losses, and there will be all the things. And it's all beautiful. So as leaders, when we practice acceptance and we practice surrender, what we're doing when we're able to lean into those types of experiences for ourselves is we're cultivating a sense of calm and a sense of trust within ourselves. And when we do that, we're also cultivating it for those around us because we're grounded. And that groundedness allows us to respond to challenges with clarity, with compassion, with resilience. And in turn, this grace ripples out into the world. And it impacts not just our lives, but every life that we touch. So what I've come to understand at this point in life, at the point of this recording, is that when we lead from a place of heart and authenticity, when we're truly being ourselves, it creates a ripple of positive change. And by living in alignment with my soul's purpose, which I believe to be transmuting fear into wisdom and leading with both strength and vulnerability, I've not only transformed my own life by embracing vulnerability and facing my fears, but also I've created space for others to be able to do the same. And that ripple effect is so incredibly powerful. And that is the reason that I am so passionate about this work, about holding space for others to step into their fullest potential, to answer their highest calling. Every interaction, every connection, every moment of authenticity sends out waves that touch others in ways we will never fully know, and it's none of our business to know. But when we lead with heart, when we trust in our path, we give others permission to do the same. And from there, we create communities of support, spaces for growth, and lives filled with purpose. And so today, on this beautiful Sunday morning, which you will also receive on a Tuesday, I want to invite you to reflect on your own fears. What are they trying to tell you? And what might happen if you lean into them instead of resisting them? And as you move through your journey, I want you to remember the power of intention and community. Celebrate your wins, share your struggles, and invite others into your process. Because when we set bold intentions, fear will show up, and that's okay. It's part of the process. But leading with heart, by embracing grace and surrender, we create that ripple of positive change that extends far beyond ourselves. So with my hand on my heart, I want to thank you so much for joining me today. I am incredibly grateful always for this space to share my journey with you, and I hope that you found something here that resonates with your own path. And as always, I would love to hear from you. What intention that you might be setting for this next chapter of your life? What fears are you facing? Reach out. Reach out to me on social media. Send me a DM, send me an email. I would love to celebrate your boldness and your courage. And until next time, I invite you to keep leading with purpose, with heart, and with grace. Make it a fabulous week.
Hey, leader. Thanks for tuning in to the Who Are You to Lead Anyway podcast. I hope today's episode inspired you to embrace your authentic leadership journey. I want to invite you to join my mailing list at www.cynthiajamiesoncoach.ca and claim your copy of Your Inner Compass, a guide to charting your course to authenticity. This guide will help you understand what truly matters most to you. My vision is to empower individuals to live and lead lives in harmony with their core values, become catalysts for positive change, and navigate transitions, all while fostering connection and belonging in the world. Lastly, your feedback shapes this show, so I would be honored if you would subscribe, rate, and review. Thank you so much for being a part of this community dedicated to authentic leadership. Together, let's make a meaningful difference in this world.